Our relationship with our higher selves is the most important relationship in our lives, whether we call that God or nature, pure consciousness, or our bigger intelligence. It doesn't matter, but what's important is that we're cultivating a daily relationship with that. And I'm going to give you 5 ways to communicate better with it so that the communication happens instantly and deeply and profoundly. These 5 ways of being can be expressed through the acronym SHREC. S is for sincerity. It's so important that we're absolutely truthful, absolutely sincere when communicating with our higher selves. Another way to say it is that we're communicating with truth itself, pure truth. And in order to communicate with pure truth, we have to be as truthful as we can. So that means we have to be sincere. We have to be sincere in our wants. This isn't our Santa Claus Christmas wish list. This is much more like, what do you have in store for me? And you can ask open-ended questions and be receptive. The second one is H is for humble. Humble, we need to be humble and have a great amount of humility in order to receive greater wisdom. And this isn't to be confused with humiliation, which is forced humility that happens when we get embarrassed. This is sort of preventative humility. We need to say, you know what, I don't know everything. And just by doing that, immediately my mind opens up, right? New information comes in. We allow greater experience than just our limited perspective. The third one is respect. We have to also respect that this intelligence and God or nature, whatever you want to call it, is a much greater force than this limited body itself. And just that respect also opens the door for all of that to kind of be accepted and be flowed with. If we're not respecting it, we're just not being honest about what this higher self really is. It's truly greater than us. And so we need to treat it as such. Otherwise, we're unable to listen to it because we're already dishonest about our relationship to it. The fourth one is empty. As much as possible, we want to empty our minds, empty our baggage, and empty our cup that's filled with all of the crap that we consume, TikTok and so forth. Our cup of stuff we have in our mind and going on is always like overflowing, and we want to empty that and allow it to be open to a fresh glass of water from pure intelligence itself. And so the easiest way to do that is to sit and allow your awareness to go as wide as possible. And there may still be chatter in the background, that's fine, but you can just pay attention to the nothing space between objects, between thoughts. And in that space, there's a richness. And also that's where the communication will come from. You may get thoughts that come in seemingly, but they're coming from grace. They're inspired. They're different than the repeating, worried thoughts that we have. And those come from a higher intelligence, these ones that come in the space of emptiness or nothingness. Finally, K is for kindness. And this is the most important one by far. We need to be kind. Obviously, it'd be ideal if we're kind throughout our entire lives, but especially when we're communicating with our higher selves and we're alone, there's nothing to be protected from. So we can let our guard down, we can soften our muscles, open our hearts, and our higher selves operate obviously on a higher intelligence and at the frequency of and softness of kindness. We don't just experience our higher selves through intellect and wisdom. We can also experience it kinesthetically. So we may receive feedback in the form of a much more somatic experience where our muscles get relaxed or we feel more grounded to the earth. Just by a little softening, a little bit of kindness, we soften up and then are receptive to that communication and direct channel to our higher selves. Please let me know what you do to communicate with your higher self in the comments, and feel free to like or subscribe, and thanks for being here.